Images of the second coming of Christ in the clouds using advanced holographic technology.
One of the things I find most striking is the presence of Antarctica on ancient maps, because we didn't discover it until 1820. The so-called Pinkerton world map, drawn I think in 1813 or 1818, it just shows a hole where Antarctica is. But if you go back to, for example, the Wulce-Willer world map drawn in 1530, you find Antarctica is present. There's Antarctica at the tip of South America, just south of South Africa.
And what did they call it back then?
Well, they call it the Southern Land. And it's larger than it is today, but it was larger than it is today during the Ice Age. Antarctica was a much bigger... Now, what the fuck is it doing on a map drawn in the 1500s, which we know was based on older source maps when nobody knew it existed in the 1500s? To me, the obvious answer is we are dealing with the fingerprints of a lost civilization.
There's actually an amazing case study. If you actually look at the Las Vegas shooting, where we lost, of course, hundreds of lives, they say 70% of the people who survived because the people in their vicinity had first aid training, and a lot of it was former military members. But those citizens stepped up and did the initial triage and the initial aid, and it saved 70% of those people. I mean, that's a huge number, and that alone should just get communities involved. Hey, if we know how to do this, look at the number of lives you save.
A little bit of medical training can go a very long way, and there's always people that are interested in doing it. People are tuned in right now, and so use that.
Yeah,
get your people trained up. It's that can mean life or death for a whole
WikiLeaks,
number
when
of
they
people.
leaked all of the Hillary Clinton emails and different stuff, there was an email from Hillary that says requesting documents pertaining to the resurrection chamber of Gilgamesh, the location of his body and the location of the buried Nephilim.
And in 2003, April 2003, coincidentally 1 month before we set up the military occupation phase in Iraq, and the first thing our troops did was raid the Museum of Iraq, and 170,000 items were reported stolen. Of those, most of them were returned. The ones that were not returned were about 3,000 items that all dealt with resurrection and the afterlife. Probably just a coincidence. That's right after they found the tomb of Gilgamesh. And if the stories are to be believed, the body was found, believed to be Gilgamesh, and incredibly well preserved, and the primary objective was to extract DNA.
The idea of the resurrection or resuscitation, the Egyptians held this. This is one of the basic concepts behind mummification, that they believe that these could be brought back to life at some point in time. And the ancient beliefs are being pursued through science. And the whole concept of transhumanism and uploading consciousness into machines, I mean, this is still, it's an ancient belief, but this is still something that is being hotly pursued.
If a record label sees you as an artist, get to a point where you make $300,000, okay, we'll give you a $2 million record deal, but this $2 million record deal just ate up the next $14 million that you make over the next 7 years.
You have to pay all that back, essentially?
Yes, it's a huge loan. So let's say you get a $3 million deal, right? 1.5 of that is an advance, 1.5 is for marketing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 1.5 that they give to you to go in your pocket, you got your lawyer expenses, all the expenses of whatever you had to get that deal accomplished, then now you get your money.
Yeah.
Okay, so that money is for you to live off of and manage and stretch out until you recoup whatever the amount of money that you rack up from the record label investing into you. Then it's another 1.5, which is that's their ceiling where they know we're not going to go over this budget. 9 times out of 10, you're going to exceed that record label budget by far. And you already signed within the $3 million amount.
That's a crazy business.
You're going to learn today
UCLA scientists said that they had monkeys smoking crack in the basement 13 years before the word crack came out. Listen, family, pay attention.
Our lab was the one who discovered the crack epidemic. We had monkeys smoking crack cocaine in the basement labs at UCLA 13 years before the word was invented.
Wow.
We knew it was coming.
And you're at UCLA?
Yes, I've been here for a long, long time. I came out here from New York because it was one of the few places I could do LSD research at the time. And I was using LSD and marijuana and all kinds of other drugs to volunteers in the laboratory. And I wanted to move away from animal research and move into people. And it was also an exciting time because lots of new epidemics had started here in California.
What else is it to say?
Started here. The methamphetamine epidemic in 69, 70 started here. Crack epidemic in the form of cocaine-free base. Smoking started here in 1971. It became hit New York in 1985. So we were always on the cutting edge of things. And it was an exciting
$70 million on the new Snow White movie, and it's already kind of a disaster. So before you even think about watching this movie, this is what you need to know. First off, let's start with the 7 dwarves, or should I say magical creatures now. Yeah, so in an effort to avoid stereotypes, Disney recreated these as characters of all genders, races, and heights. That alone has people raising their eyebrows. And I just told you the movie costed around $270 million to make. Well, in the opening weekend, it only brought in $55 million, so they have a lot of work to do. And check out these ratings. 2.4 out of 10 on IMDb, and 44% on Rotten Tomatoes. Anyway, let's talk about the main cast. So you have Gal Gadot, and she's playing the evil queen. She was born in Israel, she won Miss Israel in 2004, and she even served in the IDF. And then there's Rachel Zegler. She's playing Snow White, and she is a vocal supporter of Palestine, so when it comes to that topic, they have both sides covered. But Rachel Zegler isn't new to controversy because after Trump won the election, she tweeted, "F Donald Trump, may Trump supporters and Trump himself never know peace." She later apologized for this, but this is still absolutely wild to have in a Disney movie. Oh, and I forgot about her actual take on Snow White itself. Take a look at this clip.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story.
So now that we have confirmation of something that we've always known, that JFK was an inside job done by our own people, aired on national television for all of the American people to see. We saw this post, and it said, Trump held 96 rallies in 2024. CNN aired only one of those rallies live. That was the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. What are the odds? Call me crazy, but I haven't been around yet.
We sell a ton of people contracts, and we make them sign it and they can't get out of it. Kind of like what Juice WRLD, like the famous people, they sign their life away for greatness. If you sign this contract, guarantee you fame, bitches, and a home to live in.
You got me at bitches.
What do you think?
That's what that dude said.
Sounds good? You want to sign? Alright, man, we're gonna sign.
That's funny.
Okay?
You got me at bitches.
We're gonna sign.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Alright, sir.
Myself up sometime.
Sign right there. You're gonna click that 5 times. It's going. And then kind of just put your hand over his like that. Put your hand over his like that. There we go. You're in. Give it about 6 months, and 6 months
Sold this dude a dream,
before
poor guy.
your life is gonna change. Something magical is gonna happen. Someone in a suit is gonna come up to you, shake your hand, and promise you wealth, fame, and bitches. Sir, it was nice, man.
An alien-like creature being held captive by a man. The being didn't look threatening, just terrified. Its pale skin, frail frame, and hollow eyes made it seem almost human, but not quite. What made it stranger was the timing. 3 months earlier, a trail camera in the same region caught a nearly identical figure walking through the woods. Locals believe it's the same entity, sparking wild theories about where it came from and how long it's been among us. Late one night, a camera deep in the woods captured something unsettling. A tall, thin figure stood among the trees, its long limbs and huge, reflective eyes staring directly into the lens. Just as the flashlight beam moved, another figure peeked from behind a nearby trunk, gone in a blink, but clearly there. The stillness of both creatures felt unnatural, too deliberate to be a prank. Viewers were left convinced that something intelligent and possibly inhuman was watching from the forest shadows.
Somebody got good footage of the clouds flowing over the mountaintops. I want y'all to pay attention to this light right here. Because maybe UFOs could be fallen angels. Because this UFO that you are about to see is exactly how the Bible describes how angels look. I want y'all to pay attention to this. You're about to witness something very strange. Look at this. Now, you can't tell me that that doesn't look scary. Look at that. Right in the clouds. Now, I'm going to show y'all again in slow motion exactly what you just witnessed. Now, it's a chance that UFOs could be fallen angels if you look at this video. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think about this, because this right here blew my mind.
Meu Deus do céu. Que isso? Tô lascado. Ai, cara.
Then the light reveals something impossible. 3 separate heads moving with eerie coordination. The person filming whispers in shock, barely able to process what they're seeing, as the middle head suddenly releases a deep, aggressive roar, while the other 2 remain unnervingly silent. The tension rises instantly, making the moment feel staged yet disturbingly real. From my perspective, the synchronized movement feels deliberate rather than random. At first, it stands upright like a person, almost attempting to blend into the environment, then suddenly bends forward, placing its hands on the ground and moving on all 4s. Massive elongated horns extend from its head, creating a silhouette that looks almost mythological against the frozen backdrop. Some viewers believe this could be a rare mutated animal, while others interpret it as folklore manifesting in reality. What if legends exist for a reason? Filmed in the middle of the open sea, where a group of people sit calmly in a small boat beside a creature that looks nothing like a human. Its pale, layered skin frames a face dominated by a single oversized mouth, with no visible eyes, nose, or ears. Long fingers end in sharp, claw-like tips, yet no one aboard seems frightened or alarmed. Instead, they interact with it casually, almost familiarly. From my viewpoint, their calm suggests prior knowledge or repeated encounters. Why were they so comfortable around something so unnatural?
I'll get out here. Easy, girl. Back off. Yeah, you better keep moving.
The dog begins barking frantically, sensing danger before the man fully reacts. You can hear him nervously say, "Back off," trying to intimidate it, but the figure doesn't move, flinch, or retreat. It simply stands there, silent and unresponsive, as though fear means nothing to it. Some viewers believe this represents paranormal activity, while others argue it could be an optical illusion. If it was harmless, why did the dog react so violently?
Stay back. Please stay back. Don't leave, man. Just... I don't think it's seen us. It gets out of there. It's watching. It's watching us.
Quiet.
Back up. Back up.
Within moments, his calm shifts into shock as his camera captures a spider-like creature with an eerily human torso, moving with deliberate, almost intelligent intent. His voice trembles as he urgently tells a woman behind him to stay back, fear clearly overtaking his confidence. Critics argue this could be a staged horror scene, yet supporters point to his authentic panic as evidence of a real encounter. If this was fake, why does his reaction feel so unfiltered?
Sensing something strange, she decided to record what her son was doing, and not long after, this is what she saw. The 10 most common causes of death are the image of a woman in a white dress with very long, loose hair was clearly recorded in the house, walking while holding the child's hand inside the room. She, who felt very surprised, immediately turned off the recording and took her son to get him away from that figure. A Reddit user known as TrainingBit7600 posted a video on the popular ghost subreddit that has been scaring people since it was uploaded 5 months ago. The user explains that he recently moved into an apartment that was built in 1912 after the previous tenants suddenly left. He then mentions that he did some research and eventually ended up doing a spirit box session, and it kept repeating the word fire. Fire, fire. It turns out that the basement of the place had an accidental fire in 1965. Here's the video that the user recorded one day in which he ended up capturing something truly fascinating.
A man out filming the quiet hills spotted something moving far below. He zoomed in, expecting maybe an animal, but what showed up on camera didn't look like anything he'd ever seen. The thing had long, jointed legs like a crab, but its upper body looked disturbingly human. It crawled across the sand in slow, deliberate movements, pausing now and then as if it knew it was being watched. The footage was unsettling. Its motion was too real to be fake, but too unnatural to make sense. Some online called it CGI, but others believed the man had caught something from deep within the unknown. Late one night, a camera deep in the woods captured something unsettling. A tall, thin figure stood among the trees, its long limbs and huge, reflective eyes staring directly into the lens. Just as the flashlight beam moved, another figure peeked from behind a nearby trunk, gone in a blink, but clearly there. The stillness of both creatures felt unnatural, too deliberate to be a prank. Viewers were left convinced that something intelligent and possibly inhuman was watching from the forest shadows.